Yasmani Grandal EPA I have a friend who sees things in an odd way. His son had just failed introductory college French as a mandatory language requirement. But my friend had a logical explanation: he doesn't know French. That's what has happened to MLB by MLB. If players, managers, GMs and analytics savants last season all wore "kick me" sandwich boards, what ails baseball couldn't have been more clear. For the first time, batters had more strikeouts than hits. The average per team was 1,374 strikeouts to 1,367 hits. The reasons were plain: ya couldn't miss him. 1. Regardless of the count and game circumstances, batters tried to hit home runs. 2. Batters batted directly into defensive shifts. So the question, as spring training opens, becomes, what will MLB teams do about this? Will they drill to hit the other way or to drop down fairly easy bunt singles to defeat or at least combat the shift? Will they drill to shorten swings on two-strike pitches to make contact rather than strike out? Or shall we expect more of the same, perhaps worse? At a time when MLB is in decline as a sport predicated on the practical application of winning fundamentals, will those fundamentals continue to be ignored or further diminished in service to MLB becoming a home runner strikeout game, the way the NBA is becoming Frankenstein's monster, the grand game of basketball losing to the excesses of 70 or more three-point shots per game? The episode of last June 24 still seems impossible. Tied 7-7 against the Dodgers, a man on and none out in the 10th, the Mets' Dominic Smith, a five-year pro, struck out on 3 pitches rather than trying to bunt the winning run to second, while batting against a first base shift. The Mets lost in 11. The explanation sounded more like a plea bargain. Smith, according to manager Mickey Callaway, had never bunted in his professional career. Why? Because he doesn't know French. So what are the Mets and the rest of MLB's teams going to do about this and other basic, winning baseball skills, this spring training? New Mets hitting coach Chili Davis, fired in October by the Cubs, has said the team will emphasize contact. That remains to be seen. Even if this past World Series had been played at greater good TV hours, it still would have appeared as drudgery. The Red Sox and Dodgers totaled 109 strikeouts to 76 hits. In the 5 games, 7 Dodgers struck out 5 or more times, trying to hit 2-strike home runs. Soon we'll find out if anything has changed for the better or if we'll watch MLB further erode beneath the sad rationalization that the game has changed. But I suspect that managers, even as you read this, are plotting, regardless of circumstances, who they'll have pitch the 6th inning and who will pitch the 7th. Casey Stengel to Don Larson, 1956 World Series, I'm pulling ya, kid. Analytics. Twice through the lineup, you know how it works. Next spring? Who knows? Maybe teams can work on intelligent, successful ways to slide into bases. In the meantime, parlez-vous baseball? Goring takes MSG viewers inside the play. Perhaps I've been at this too long, but when I hear Islanders MSG TV analyst Butch Goring, I think of Jerry Gerard. Gerard, the WPIX New York TV sports anchor who died in 2007, knew that by Monday night during the NFL season we'd already seen 6-7 times highlights from Sunday's Jets and Giants games, including 1-yard touchdown dives and last play, chip shot field goals. Thus, he had us focus on plays that led to the scores, significant plays that explained the win or the loss. Butch Goring MSG Network. Perhaps Goring has always done this during Islanders telecasts, but this season, with the Isles' surprising ascendance, we see and hear it quite often. Working beautifully with the alert folks in the broadcast truck, Goring quickly points to the play that led to the play. Thus, after a goal is scored and a couple of replays of that are shown, we're given all the goods. Last week the Isles beat Colorado in overtime on a Ryan Pulock goal off a quick cross-ice pass from Casey Cizikas. Almost instantaneously, Goring noted Brock Nelson's role. And then there it was. Nelson had won the puck along the far boards, skated a few steps to draw Avalanche players toward him, then passed it straight ahead to Cizikas. Good games are accidental. Good TV isn't. Given that colleges are growing increasingly unaffordable and that college basketball is ostensibly an amateur sport fronted by academic institutions that often lose millions to fund basketball, what would happen if the NCAA capped all coaches' salaries at, say, $1.5 million per? No perks, no bonuses, no outside contributions from boosters, no personal sneaker deals in the school's employment. Just $1.5 million as per IRS filing. How many coaches would quit? How many would say goodbye because they couldn't get by on $1.5 million per? There are now roughly 50 coaches, many within taxpayer-funded colleges, paid a base salary of at least $2 million per. No college president or trustee would ever admit that winning bowl games is their school's greatest priority. Perish the thought. It's higher education. Then why are their basketball and football coaches, by far, their highest paid employees? Caddy got more than bargained. I don't know if Matt Kuchar is a tightwad or if he makes with phony smiles for the cameras and crowds, as he has lately been portrayed. But I do know that most stories have multiple sides. It has been reported that the local caddy, David Giral Ortiz, who looped for Kuchar in Mexico last month, agreed to payment terms before the PGA tournament in which Kuchar won the $1.29 million first prize. Kuchar then paid him the agreed fees for the week: $2,000 if he made the cut, $3,000 if he finished top 20, $4,000 if he made the top 10. He then threw in an extra grant for a total payment of $5,000. Yes, a pittance by regular PGA caddy standards, but better than their original agreement. Kuchar relented Friday, succumbing to public backlash, making Ortiz whole with a total payments of $50,000. Had Kuchar finished 72nd, the last paying spot, his caddy would have been paid $2,000 from Kuchar's $14,000, 14%, rather than the customary 5%, and presumably would have left pleased with the math and his good fortune. Time for a new format for the NBA All-Star Game. The publicly very unhappy multimillionaire stars, Team Trade Me, versus the publicly just unhappy multimillionaire stars, Team Twitter. At halftime, pin the tail on the donkey for those coaches imperiled or dismissed as per the wishes of unhappy All-Stars.